We do welcome your calls and love hearing from you. Let's go to the phones. Jill, thank you for waiting. Hello, Jill.
Hi, I wanted to ask you a question about discipline. Timeout doesn't seem to be working. I've got a 4.5-year-old boy and a 2-year-old girl.
All right. And what's the issue?
Well, I can get them to stay in timeout, but a few minutes later, say 30 minutes later, they do the same thing, whether it's jumping on the couch or, pushing his sister or so forth. And, it's just not working.
Yeah. In other words, when you look up sibling rivalry, they're the poster child.
There is some of that, but some of it's, like I say, it's just one of them jumping on the couch. And, of course, with the small one, she likes to do what Big Brother does, so then she'll do it too. But, and jumping on the bed and that sort of thing. And, I don't know.
So you've tried timeout. What else have you tried?
Smacking them on the bottom. I've tried that. That does not work, and I do not like doing that.
Okay. When they are in timeout, do you go in and talk with them, or tell me about timeout?
No, what I do, it's by the front door of our home, and so there's a rug there, and I've set the microwave clock. They're usually crying when they go to timeout, and they have to stay there, and sometimes we're in the room. Another time, the rest of the family would be in another room, and that really bothers them, of course, when they're set aside from everybody else. But I set the microwave clock for 2 or 4.5 minutes, depending on how old the child is, and I do not talk to them. And then before they can cut, they hear that microwave clock go off, and when they get out, then I'll talk to them about it. I sit down there face-to-face on their level and talk to them about it. And it's still not working. But that's what I saw on The Nanny, and it seems to work on that show.
On television, it's wonderful.
Yes.
Right, but you're only getting 30 minutes of The Nanny. You don't get the whole picture with The Nanny. So are they able to... When you talk with them about it, are they able to tell you back what they've done wrong?
Yes. Well, not the 2-year-old, but the 4.5-year-old. I think the 2-year-old understands, though.
What do you think, Dr. Devin? Go ahead.
There was a man one time who was talking about his 2 kids, kids who were about your age, and he said that when they went from 1 child to 2, they had to go from zone to man coverage.
Okay.
And these are the difficult years that you're in right now. There's no doubt about that. Taking care of 2 kids is more complicated than taking care of 1. You've got 2 preschoolers, so I imagine that, and at different developmental levels, so their needs and wants are rather different that you have. I know it sounds like you've tried the timeout things, and it's been kind of frustrating.
Well, and I'm sorry to interrupt you. I have tried the distraction. Okay, let's do this, let's do that, but it seems to go back to that. Those are their favorite activities, jumping on the couch or jumping on the bed.
Do you have some help with this?
Well, my husband works at nights, so 4 nights a week. It is just us, me and the kids. But, yeah, I have a very active husband.
Have you set up a behavior contract with them? Maybe that they're bouncing on the bed, 5 times a day.
Can you really do that with a 2-year-old?
That's a good question, Dr. Frager. With the older one, you probably can.
4-year-old, you probably could.
Right, but sometimes if you can get the 4-year-old under control, the 2-year-old will follow.
Absolutely.
So that might be, speaking with the 4-year-old, that, if you can limit your bouncing on the bed to a lesser degree, or, then you'll be rewarded with, special time with mommy, or, not so much monetary things, but, speak with her about something that she might want.
Okay.
And set up a behavior contract with her.
Is there anything they can, this is Dr. Frager, is there anything they can jump on that it's okay? You see where I'm going with that there's an alternative. You can do it there, but nowhere else.
That's true. That's a good idea. No, not that I can think of. I mean, I guess I could get one. I'll see where they sell those little bitty trampolines where you can get the bar on there. They can hold on to it and jump.
I don't know. Better get the one that's screened in if you got a 4 and a 2. You don't want them flying
Oh, the
off.
Large one. I meant the small indoor one.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and maybe that's okay to bounce on.
Yeah.
But it's probably not nearly as much fun as the bed.
No, and right now they're cooped up and it's winter, and we take them to a play gym once a month or so, and the almost 5-year-old did get to go outside with Dad today, and they took a hike in the snow, quick one. But, so I realize that's part of it.
Yeah,
They're cooped
alternative
up.
behaviors become very important. Then there are places, like you said, play places, where they have the very safe areas they can bounce on, the trampolines and the big cushy kind of whatever they are, that they can land on and they're safe.
The blow-up thing,
Yeah,
yes.
right. And so there are alternatives. If you're good, then we can do this.
Yeah.
But, the reward has to closely follow the behavior, so it's a little tricky.
Yeah.
And the younger the child is, the more that is true. And any kind of token economy you put in place, where you try to give them something that's a proxy, or it will hold value to be returned later, that has to be very, very shortly spaced, so that the child can remember it and keep it in mind, and have it be a powerful enough force to help him do the kinds of things you want. I reinforce what both Dr. Rose and Dr. Frager have said, too, that the kids really do need to be able to exercise some way, somehow. Even putting on winter clothes can be quite an exercise, and even though you don't think of that as the fun time, and it's really not, it is something that makes them exercise their big muscles, and stomping the snow off at the end and hanging up their coats and things like that are all sort of parts of it.
Maybe I should, I could do an indoor exercise tape with them. They might like that. I know when my son was a baby, we used to do mommy and baby yoga or something. I mean, I guess, is there something out there like that I could put on a tape and maybe we could dance or...
They actually do sell tapes for young people to exercise to. Barney, of course, is not one of my favorites, but the kids love it. And Barney exercises.
Probably at one of those, the parent-teacher store or whatever it's called.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Wii Fitness, if you've invested in a Wii, there are child exercises for Wii.
All of these non-sponsors, but we'll talk to them tomorrow. And Dr. Rose, you do a lot of counseling with children.
I have several
and their families.
Young children. The youngest I have is 4, and crossing the spectrum of diagnosis. I have some children with conduct disorder, some with ODD, and some with ADHD, and the cognitive behavior therapy works very well with them, just sitting them down and discussing ways in which they could change their behavior. So children as young as 4 can have a logical conversation and have their behavior shaped by their thinking.
See, I admire both of you. Now, I see adolescents and adults in our practice, but little children, I don't have that patience. So anyone who does, I have this great admiration for.